Father Felipe, Father Greg, Sister Pearl, Reverend Sisters, brothers and sisters in Christ, good morning. First, we thank the Lord for the gift of vocation. We give the Lord a round of applause. And second, we thank Sister Pearl for receiving God's gift of vocation. We give Sister Pearl a round of applause. I will be 10 years young in the priesthood on August 18. Father Greg and Father Felipe will be 30 years young in the priesthood on August 13. In one of his books, Pope Benedict XVI shares a story about a parish priest who is saddened by the fact that in his parish assignment, no priest is yet ordained since it has been established. The parish priest then takes all the initiative, but to no avail. After having been in the parish for a long time, still no vocation is born. The parish priest seems to take the blame on himself until he is reminded that vocation is born not out of the initiative of man, but out of the initiative of God in response to the prayer of man. Instead of relying on his own persona, on his own creativity, capacity, ability, the parish priest then invites the parishioners to go on a yearly pilgrimage to a Marian site as an act of praying for vocations. After a few years, the parish eventually celebrates the Thanksgiving Mass of their first ever priest from their parish. Vocation comes from God. It is He who calls. We simply respond to His calling. That is why vocation means calling. I many times encountered mothers wishing that their son would become a priest, and grandmothers wishing that their grandson would become a priest. I would always ask them to keep praying and tell them that their constant prayers for vocations would not go unanswered. It might not be their son or grandson, but one day, from among their descendants, one would eventually become a priest, a religious, or consecrated, if they would keep praying. Inasmuch as vocation is not born out of man's initiative, vocation should also not be measured based on one's initiative. Inasmuch as vocation is not born out of what we have done, vocation should also not be measured based on what we have done. Measuring vocation based on what we have done, on how good we are, can only turn us toward each other, can only make us compete against each other, can only lead us to strive hard to be far better than others, can only turn us into content creators, pushing us to do something that can make us trendy, to simply be what people want us to be. But vocation is primarily not about how we look good before others, but about how good we are before God. When vocation simply focuses on what we can do for others, vocation simply becomes a kind of mere performance. On the Jubilee of Priests celebrated in Rome last June, Pope Leo XIV had a beautiful reminder about vocation. Quoting the Gospel of John 15:15, I have called you friends. The Holy Father reminded the priests that vocation is primarily an invitation, a calling to friendship with God. This reminder is not just for priests, but for everyone called to a priestly, religious, or consecrated life. Vocation is primarily an invitation to a friendship with Christ. In his audience with some religious sisters, the Holy Father invited them, ask, is God my everything? The Holy Father then continued with the thoughts of Saint Augustine. Saint Augustine, speaking of the primacy of God in the Christian life, affirms that God is everything. You're everything. If you are hungry, God is your bread. If you are thirsty, God is your water. If you are in darkness, God is your light that never fades. If you are naked, God is your everlasting garment. Indeed, we would do well to ask ourselves, to what extent are these words true for me? How much does the Lord satisfy my thirst for life, love, and light? Sister Pearl and her siblings and I are third-degree cousins. Their great-grandmother and my great-grandmother are sisters. Sister Pearl, you are now perpetually married to Christ. Years of prayers and wonderful and challenging experiences have brought you this far. But more prayers are needed, for the experiences that await you are even more challenging. The Sacred Heart of Jesus Parish, where Sister Pearl and I belong, is still 18 years old. Yet it is able to give birth to 3 religious priests, 1 Rogationist and 2 from the Order of Saint Augustine, 1 diocesan priest. But before me, before the parish was established, there are already 2 diocesan priests. And Sister Pearl and many others who are still under formation. Sister Pearl and I, for many years, were serving the parish as summer catechists until we continued with our vocation journey. Sister Pearl, as you continue with your vocation journey, may you always remember that vocation is not a one-time calling, but a constant and consistent invitation from the Lord to a friendship with Him. Thus, may you always find yourself sitting at the feet of the Lord like Mary of Bethany. While I was still about to enter the seminary, and while still in the seminary, when asked about why would I want to become a priest, I would gladly and unhesitatingly respond, because I want to serve God and His people. And all the other seminarians would have the same response, until we no longer want to respond, as we begin to find it hard to explain the meaning of our vocation in plain words. Bago pa gani ka musulod, excited ka ikamutubag, I want to serve God and His people, until you would get irritated, because it is not that easy to respond to a question people think very simple. At certain points in our vocation journey, we ask God, why are you calling me? Or we ask ourselves, is God really calling me? Or it is just me who is calling myself? The mystery of vocation, the mystery of God's calling, is believing that you are called by God, and at the same time doubting if you are really called by God.